What's up? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm not. I've been sick for the past week. I really have been hoping that it would be gone by now, and I don't know why it's still here. It's almost like there's something making me sick. What is something that's so obscene and just an abomination to this world that it would be making me sick? Like, it's my crypt. I just wanted to take a moment right before we get into the shitstorm that is this book. I'm in college. Woo! Yeah, I'm in a new space now. This is gonna be where I'm filming. So if you don't like it, get used to it, because there's really nowhere. There's nothing for me to do. I just know that, you know, my old room is such a huge staple of my filming setup that it might be a little drastic of a change, but get used to it. A quick disclaimer before the video starts. I don't usually get too political. This video, however, is going to be a little bit more political, seeing that the book I'm reading is massively conservative and against all of my views. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there before we get into it. All right, let's shit on some children. Books, not kids, but the books being made for them. All right, let's get started. This book wasn't even made for children. It was made for fetuses that can't even read yet. Because if they did, they might die. Who needs an abortion when you can just read this to your child? They'll die immediately. So this is a series of books called the TUTTLE twins, and they have many. This is the first one in the series. It's called The Law. And, you know, as you can imagine, it talks about the law. If this video does well, if you guys want me to, I can order more of the books. They're really not that expensive. So before I get into kind of explaining my experience with this book, I'm first going to show you the ad that made me stumble upon all of this in the first place. Okay, so this is the advertisement. It says TUTTLE Twins children's books that teach the ideas of freedom. And it has a very small ratio of likes to dislikes, nothing major. I wouldn't be too worried about it.
We must seize the means of production.
Stop it, Vlad. You know the rule.
Yeah, there's no communism in our household. Who's teaching my children about communism and stealing the entire jar of cookies? The stealing and the seizing the means of productions is so blatant in my household that I, as a mother, need to put a sign that says no communism, because that'll definitely work.
It seems a big part about being a mom these days is helping your kids unlearn the crazy ideas they're exposed to in the world.
Wait, why is Peppa Pig holding the Soviet Union flag? Was this an aired episode that I completely missed? I love Peppa Pig. I still do. And now that I find out she's a communist, sign me up. Sign me up. In fact, I'll be in the next episode. I'll play the flag. I'll just paint myself red. Who knows? Whatever.
Now, my kids are being told by the media and even the school system that socialism is great.
What elementary school is teaching your child about socialism? I didn't hear the word socialism until I was like in late high school. And it wasn't even from school. Dude, what school is your child going to? Also, what the hell is this like SNL skit of an advertisement? Like, this feels so ironic, just the way they're acting, the way she's looking at the camera. It feels like a mockumentary. Like, I actually think this is something SNL would make.
Mama, if we just get rid of all these successful people, we'll finally be happy.
No, honey, that just means we'll all be poor.
Yeah. Communism is when people are poor.
The blocks are the supply, and when people want them, that's demand.
Is that what Dad meant when he said you're too demanding?
Funny joke. Funny joke. Very funny. It's also kind of ironic how the system of capitalism that she built is crumbling. That's kind of funny because it's realistic.
Luckily, I now have the TUTTLE twins to help us. The TUTTLE twins is a series of books written for freedom-loving parents that teach correct principles about free markets in clear and relatable stories.
Mom, I demand cookies. There's no more supply.
Oh.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Capitalism is when kids demand cookies, but communism is when kids hoard all of the cookies for themselves. I need to be writing this down. I'm just gonna say this right now. I am in a city area, so there's gonna be a lot of noises, people yelling, cars roaring, revving their engine. Why did I just make that noise? But yeah, I'm sorry for the disturbances. So yeah, there we have it. If you don't want your kids supporting socialism, buy the Tuttle Twins. I'm curious. Let's go look at their reviews on Amazon. I don't know. I have a feeling they're going to be very positive reviews. 1 star by I Clear Jelly. Not giving my kids a book that endorses God or church. 277 people found this helpful. Okay, well, let's go to the next one. Jordan Hardy said, buyer beware. There's got to be one good review. Oh, here we go. Amazon customer. Incredible. 99% of adults have no idea of the concepts taught in this book. The easy way this book lays out a synopsis of Astiat is incredible. I don't know how to pronounce that name. You could be a college political science student and benefit from this just as well as a 10-year-old. Well, it's a good thing I'm a college student because I'm ready to learn. So I did read through the entirety of this book. And is it bad? Yes, very. But does it have some good parts? No, not at all. Not at all. So I would like to formally welcome you to Saji's Reading Bainbow. I was gonna call it Reading Rainbow, but apparently it's already been taken. I don't know who would steal that. It's a very original name that I've never heard before. So we're going with Reading Bainbow. So this story starts off with 2 children, Ethan and Emily Tuttle, and they're in class learning about wisdom. It just says she just wrote down wisdom on the board. Now, their teacher, Miss Minor, says that wisdom is when a person knows important and true things. I thought wisdom was just something you got when you were old. Like, you just acquired wisdom as you got older. So anyway, they're assigned homework for this project. They need to go and talk to someone who's wise and gain some of their wisdom. So they choose their neighbor, Fred. And Fred is like a grandpa to them. He waves to them like a grandpa would. They also go out to the park and he talks to them, and then he shows them his car and then tells them that hummingbirds aren't floating. They actually fly. Yeah, it says here, he's told them, you stupid children, how could you think hummingbirds are floating? That's impossible. They have wings, they can fly, you stupid dumb kids. Okay, moving on. So anyway, after school, the twins go up to Fred, they knock on his door, and he opens, and he says, how are my favorite neighbors? They then tell him that they're doing a project, and they have to talk to someone who has wisdom, and he says, I think I know just what to talk to you about. Okay, can we pause for a second? Because that's a confusing and it's a very general thing. Like, wisdom is a very broad topic. You can't just be like, share me some wisdom. Like, it has to be on the spot, right? In every movie I've seen, the old dude who's super wise, he isn't asked to give wisdom. He just kind of gives it. Try or do not. One will never... whatever fucking Yoda said. I don't know. Or the quote that Aster Uguay said. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it a present. I cannot believe I got that. Wow, my 12-year-old self would be proud right now. Okay, moving on. So anyway, he explains to them that he has something that he can show them. He has a piece of wisdom that he can share. And he goes up to his library, and the kids are like, whoa, he has a lot of books. Mans must be smart. Well, he's not. And while he's trying to find a specific book, the twins are trying to guess what he's about to teach them. So Ethan is like, is it food? Is it something about food because we eat every day? What more could you know about food, Ethan, that isn't just eating it? Like, what more do you need to know about food? Oh, did you know you can shove a carrot up your ass and you become wiser? Emily was like, I bet it's about the sun. Okay. And then Fred was like, those things are important, but I have something else in mind. The law. And it's a book written by an old French dude. Can you guys see that? I'm trying to like bring it closer. I know it's blurry. I know it's on manual focus. And Fred goes, my parents named me after this man. He taught people many important ideas about the government. So let's get into what these ideas are. Oh, then Fred, the man, not the author of the book that Fred, the character, is holding. He goes, you, me, and every other person has something called rights. And Emily wrote, we have rights in her notebook. She just wrote, we have rights. Having rights means that there are some things I can do and nobody is allowed to stop me. Like not wear my mask. And then this is where the religion kind of bleeds in. Fred says, think of rights this way. God gives us our lives and he gives us our ability to think, learn, and act. God also gives us the ability to know that things are right or wrong. You can believe in whatever you want to believe, as long as it does not impede on my rights. As in, like, freedom of church and state. That's in the Constitution. And then there's this illustration that shows you the rights that you have. So it has like two small illustrations that are like sharing is right, but not sharing is wrong and selfish. Tuttle Twins communist confirmed? What? Huge turn of events. And then this is where the story gets a little bit scary. Fred looked serious when he began to say, we also need to protect those rights. We also need to protect those rights. Since people want to protect their rights and stop the bad guys, they group together. We often call this type of group a government. Isn't the government the people that creates the rights and the laws that we have? Oh, Fred is saying that we have rights that are given to us by God, so the government protects those rights. Okay, well, I always thought that the government are the people that gave us those rights, that said what we can and can't do. That's what a democracy entails. Like, that's why we have a government. I don't know, you might need to get your facts straight, Fred. Age might be catching up to you. And then he goes on to say, in many cases, the bad guys can become part of the government. The kid's jaws dropped open in disbelief. There are bad guys who are part of the government? How can that be, wondered Emily. I don't know why I did a Fred voice, it just felt right. Bad guys in government don't wear capes or look like villains, Fred said. They look normal and say things that a lot of people like. Like those Democrats, they are bad guys. Always not doing what's right for our rights. They just want to wear masks and look cool while doing so. Well, I say nay. So then Fred kind of expounds upon what he means. So his analogy is, if his neighbor steals his tomatoes, it's wrong. And if a police officer, helped her steal those tomatoes as well, that is also wrong. The police officer can't break the law and, get away with it. Interesting, huh? How several cops still do that. Finally, one true statement in this whole book. If something is wrong for us to do, it's wrong for the people in government to do. So then Fred goes on to say that how we need to help people, but we shouldn't be forced to help people. We should help people if we want to help people. But also, if there's no incentive, no one's gonna help anyone. We live in a very individualistic society where you kind of have to work for your own well-being, and if you don't have any reason to help someone other than you want to, it's never gonna happen. Fred then says, if a law lets the government do something I'm not allowed to do, then it's not a true law. So then do we not have to follow it? Is that how that works? Like what is a true law? Is a true law something that we all have to abide by? But then if someone in the government doesn't abide by it, is it just free game? So if someone in the government steals my potatoes out of my yard, can I also do that because it's not a true law? Please, Fred, I need those potatoes back. He then goes on to say, when true laws exist and are respected, people work hard to improve their lives and they work peacefully with others. Everyone prospers together and is happier. Fred seems very anti-government. Starting to give off very much socialist vibes. Check yourself, Fred. I don't want you to end up being a socialist. That's bad news. That's really bad news. I might have to steal your tomatoes. It wouldn't be pretty. And then he kind of goes on this rant about how when people are against the law, it turns everyone against each other and people start taking instead of giving. And he starts talking about how some people stop working hard and begin looking to the government to take care of them instead. Maybe we should have mercy on the people and not the laws. I feel like when we care more about people and less about the laws that force them into this confinement, I just think it's better for everybody. And it just has this illustration of this protest that obviously Fred is massively against. But then the children, who haven't had much spotlight throughout this book, ask, then who stops the bad guys if they are in the government? So Fred, after he gives this terrible analogy of how if you were in school, but all the teachers were bullies, instead of just like one kid, and he says, so we fight back with ideas, like the ones in this book. Did he just break the fourth wall? And then Fred says, you have rights, and so you should also have responsibilities. You should help people if they need something, but the law shouldn't force you to. Only help people if you feel like it, if you're in the mood. So then that's like the end of the book. The kids help someone by bringing one of their neighbors a fresh batch of tomatoes from Fred's garden, which they stole, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. I do, in hindsight, regret this purchase, even though I feel like it'll make for a good YouTube video, just because it's so surface level, even for a children's book. It didn't really teach us about the law. It just taught us about our moral compass, which we have from the law, or the laws, that surround us in society. But yeah, if you enjoyed me reading this book in Saji's reading corner, the reading Banebo, make sure to like and subscribe. Sorry about all the outside noises. I will try and get that fixed next time. I'll just tell everybody in the city that I'm filming, and hopefully they'll understand and shut the hell up. But if you guys enjoyed, again, make sure to like and subscribe, follow my Twitch, follow my Instagram, follow my Twitter, and I will see you guys next time, where we go around enforcing the law. I'll just like chuck this book at people, be like, follow the law. Listen, don't jaywalk. It's illegal. And if police officers do it, then it's no longer a true law, which means I have free reign. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.